Hi, my name is Omar Badi, and today we'll be talking about ITIL. What is ITIL? ITIL stands for IT Infrastructure Library. Now, it's a structured method of processes that businesses can adapt to become more efficient in respects to the services of IT. This method is a worldwide standard for businesses, since it has been proven to save costs and increase the quality of service in respects to IT and business relations. ITIL cannot be adapted quickly. It takes a lot of time, commitment, planning, resources, and financial backing to successfully implement as a standard for a business's IT. A business's ITIL strategy is never complete. It is an ongoing structure that is created with the fact that changes and modifications in business can be applied to IT to fit the business's needs. So IT adapts to business. Business does not adapt to IT. In this ever-changing world, if you do not have a future strategy, you do not have a future. This presentation will outline some of the features of ITIL and some major components of ITIL with their benefits. We'll start with service level management. So for short, SLM. SLM is one of the 7 major components that form the framework of ITIL. SLM, when developed, allows IT to be more cost effectively and accurately define levels of service to the business. Overall, these processes create a role for IT to support the business and outlines the role and responsibility of IT towards the business. Now, within today's working world, IT is required in every business, and even though it's a huge part, we as technologists still work for the business. With service level management, we want to justify the levels of service to senior management, so we can identify what levels of service we're responsible for providing to the business or customers. This, if executed correctly, helps the business flow and be more cost effective. The process of SLM as a whole is never complete. It's an ongoing process, as we talked about in the last slide. As businesses change, SLM is designed to change with the business. Here is one of the most amazing things about ITIL, that it's adaptable with change. IT will develop and adapt with the business when needed to further excel the business in all properties. With SLM, it's a set of processes that, by definition, they define a level of service, requirements of business processes that agree upon levels of service. They relay a cost of services defined. Service levels and operational level agreements are developed to satisfy business processes. They also create a map of service costs that identify different levels of service provided, effectively creating solutions that a business can afford within budget. Another role is for them to implement and analyze SLAs and OLAs, which we'll get into later. The benefits of SLM. The benefits include developing a greater understanding between business and IT, setting service quality expectations, and in turn monitoring those expectations, defining the roles and responsibilities of IT and business as one model, becoming cost-effective when faced with IT issues, and coming up with cost-effective solutions. This process falls under the business's SLM plan. This is called the Service Level Agreement, so the SLA for short. The Service Level Agreement, they're just that. They're agreements to outline the relationship between the provider of the service and the recipient of the service. This agreement creates the relationship between these parties and successfully defines the service that will or will not be provided. SLAs must be carefully developed. Much detail is needed to successfully communicate the service being given and received. A business needs to cover every corner of the service agreement and document this for the process to be successful. SLAs an SLA is a long document. It consists of many parts. Quickly, a typical SLA would consist of an introduction, background, scope of work, performance, analyzing and documenting, incident management, which we'll get into later, costs, customer duties and responsibilities, assurances, property rights and confidentiality, and legal aspects. Now, what are the benefits of an SLA? It's a written and signed agreement between a provider and the recipient of a service. Legal headaches are avoided by documenting everything and agreeing on paper ahead of the scheduled service uh, to basically clarify. Responsibilities of the recipient are clearly outlined. So, as an IT professional, if I require my customer to provide me with certain responsibilities, with certain, let's say, objects, I will receive those as per this SLA. The cost of service. Now, costs are always defined ahead of time. Uh, we do leave some leeway, but in the SLA we do identify the costs. The property and image rights are clearly identified. Now, property and image rights meaning anything created as a result of the project, does that belong to the customer? Does that belong to us? Does that belong to our business? Does that belong to a third party? Those all need to be defined and clarified. The next agreement is the OLA, which is the operational level agreement. This process defines the interactions within a business in respects to IT and other units. OLAs are created to internally set a map so IT knows how and when to handle or escalate a task. This agreement outlines the responsibilities of support groups within an organization to other groups within the same organization. It's an internal agreement between, let's say, IT and accounting. The OLA must be defined and followed clearly. So when an SLA must be supported, external, the OLA, internal, is successful and the units in the business can flow together. The OLA strategy has to be on on point, and everyone needs to understand the OLA strategy to be successful. OLAs, there's a list of what an OLA consists of. It's pretty typical. Within a business, we don't get into a lot of about the legality because we are dealing with internal organizations within our own business. But here's some simple things that are included in an OLA. So with the benefits of an OLA, it defines the roles and responsibilities of business units within the same organization towards each other. It sets a map of prioritization and escalation. It provides support to external SLAs. It organizes the business to move issues from conception to solution. Documented method of a route to solve an issue. So it's basically a plan on how to deal with an issue with each other. It's simple. It provides clarity between business units and IT. The next process is an underpinning contract. This agreement resides between IT and a third party. The third party is to provide solutions and services to support delivery of an IT service to a client. The contract defines between IT and third party roles and responsibilities that must be met to successfully deliver a service to a client. These contracts are usually used to support targets in SLAs. So you can see how ITIL links processes together to be successful. Benefits of an underpinning contract. So it helps to support an SLA. It clearly defines service and responsibilities with third parties. For example, a consulting firm provides a solution that your business is not capable of providing without third party influence. So, when you have an SLA that needs to be completed, that you need to take action on, an underpinning contract you must reach out to a third party to fulfill your SLA. Clearly defines legal and property aspects of a service that you will purchase from the third party. So again, it's important to document everything, and this underpinning contract is just another example. So the service catalog. Now, this is a document that provides information about all live IT services that are available in a business. This clearly defines information about deliverables, prices, contact points, ordering and request processes. The service catalog, in other terms, is an advertisement of services within a business. The service catalog consists of service name, service description, availability, and just simple things that would be in any document of its nature. The benefits of a service catalog. It shows up-to-date information for types of services available from a business. It defines costs and availability in respects to those live services. Clarity of contact personnel and ordering information is there for anyone to view. Documentation for all services offered by IT for the business is within the service catalog. Now we come to the service desk. The service desk is a hub for support from IT. The service desk is one aspect every business wants to improve by making it more efficient, more accessible, faster, and successful at resolving issues. So this is the single point of contact, or SPOC as we like to call it, where users are supported by IT majority of the time. This is why it's so important to build the business service desk to the best of the business's ability. Incident reporting, service requests, and first contact are always performed at the service desk. With changing technology and more resources, service desks have broken away from the traditional telephone system to adapt email, instant messaging, web portals, and remote access to provide support. The evolution of the service desk is extremely vital to making a successful ITIL foundation. So what are the benefits of a service desk? The SPOC, first point of contact between IT and users. Logging all requests to increase productivity and create a faster solution. Escalation guidelines at the service desk increase productivity and support quality. ITIL version 3 implements faster and more cost-effective service desk methods than just phone, like we talked about in the last slide, instant messaging, email, and portals. Now, incident management. This process is a management of unplanned incident that occurs with respect to an IT service. This can include failure of a service or reduction in quality of a service. The goal of incident management is to minimize the effect of an incident on business operations and successfully nullify this incident to resume normal business procedures. An event that is not normal part of business procedures is classified as an incident, and that is where incident management plan comes into effect. Basically, something happens and we need to have a plan to take care of the situation. This process is a reactive process, meaning that something out of the ordinary must occur to put this plan into action. A strong incident management procedure ensures that any incident can be dealt with and neutralized as soon as possible, as to not having a major impact on business operations. For example, a server crashes, the users can't access the network, the business is on hold. The benefits of a strong incident management policy include fulfilling service levels, meeting requirements set by service agreements, increase in efficiency and productivity, also satisfying users, senior level managers, and the business as a whole. Our next process and a really important process is problem management. Now, problem management is when we prevent future incidents from disrupting business. This can potentially save productivity, finances, legal ramifications, and internal issues within a business. So your boss wouldn't be too happy if you hadn't had a UPS and planned for a power outage. These kind of problems can be prevented, and if the situation is bad, a strong problem management strategy can save you from a lot of headaches. So what are the benefits of a problem management strategy? They help fulfill service levels. They prevent service disruptions, fulfilling service agreements and availability. increasing efficiency and productivity, satisfying users, senior level managers, and the business as a whole again. So we quickly have just been over some core components of ITIL. Although ITL is vastly more complicated to implement than just by the following processes that we discussed, you can now form an idea of how important it can be to be bringing together a strong ITIL strategy. So again, it's a long process, it's costly, but in the long run, your business will only benefit from a successful and strong ITIL strategy. Please see these as the references that I've used to gather my information about ITIL, and the references are also included in the information underneath the video. Thank you.